to a books chat video from my new spare room and beautiful new bookcase. I'm obsessed with it, and so I'm standing up today so I can grab books from the shelf and talk to you about some of my summer recommendations, things to get you out of a book slump, things that are on my TBR, books that I've rated 5-star and loved so far this year, and any of your recommendations that I asked for over on my Brogan's Books Instagram page, where I share all of my reviews, book events I go to, PR for new books that I've been sent, offers for books and Kindles. So you might like to join me over there if you are interested in books. But today's video is literally just going to be talking about things that I recommend. So grab a cup of tea and get comfy. Hopefully you've got a nice little cozy reading nook like I do, because this has changed the game for me, having a place that I can actually relax. And over the summer, I always try and prioritize reading time, distraction free. I've been going on solo reading dates. I took some time off work and literally just read for like 3 or 4 days straight, which was absolutely glorious. But also I love books that are sort of themed around summer to get me in the spirit of things. I also love like Christmassy books at Christmas, you know. So today I'm going to talk to you about the ones that I really think are worth picking up if you are going on a summer holiday, or even if you're just at home chilling in the garden in the sunshine. I've got a lovely little egg chair as well, which is another favourite reading spot, but these are the ones that I think you will enjoy. And I should say that I've tried to throw in some fantasy and a thriller and other things, but truthfully I'm a romance girly. I like books that are really easy to read, light-hearted. Should we get into it? Because I've got so many good ones. Let's start with Page Tune. I only discovered Page Tune last year, very late to the party. I started with Seven Summers, which is a beautiful summer book. I've got a lovely pink sprayed edges version. This is such a beautiful story, one that made me cry. It has twists that you're like, oh wow, oh, where's it going? It's actually set on the Cornish coastline, which we have been down to Cornwall a few times, so I could really envision it. This one's a bit of a love triangle, I will say. And then this is Page Tune's latest book. Again, I have a gorgeous sprayed edges version. This is called What If I Never Get Over You. I think this is another good summer read. It's about Ellie and Ash. They fall in love while traveling in Europe. They lose touch, and then 6 years later they're reunited at her workplace. It is so good. You're really rooting for them. These are my top go-tos that I think of straight away when I have friends come to me and say, what shall I read? Now, you probably all know or have heard of Emily Henry, or maybe you've read a few of her books, but these two are my favourites. They are both 5-star reads for me. Book lovers, beach read. They are great for the summer. These books will definitely get you out of a book slump if you are struggling with anything. Book Lovers is about Nora and Charlie, set in a small town. Nora is a literary agent and Charlie is a book editor. I just think the way that Emily Henry is able to write about the book industry is obviously so authentic, which is why I also really loved Beach Read, because January and Gus are both authors. Again, small town, so I think they're super similar, and because I read them a little while ago, I blur them a bit, but I did love them both. I went back and checked and they were both 5 stars for me. I have actually read a few of Emily Henry's other books. I did pick up Great Big Beautiful Life. This is her latest one. I've read Happy Place, Funny Story. I have a love-hate relationship with some of her books. I either really love them or I really struggle, and The Great Big Beautiful Life I didn't even finish. This is my all-time favourite book, so it's always going to have mentions. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think she's an incredible author, and I'm very excited because I actually have quite a few of her other books at the end there. But if you haven't read this already, make this a must. But if you enjoyed this, then I really recommend Carrie Soto is Back. It's set in the same sort of universe, so one of the characters from this crosses into it and it's her story. If you love Wimbledon and tennis, you will definitely love it. But even if you don't, this summery feel to it and her tennis career is really interesting, and it was just a really good read. I gave it to my mum as well. My mum doesn't read a lot, but she did love this, so I recommended Carrie Soto is Back. So I don't have the copy of it, but it is brilliant. So yeah, if you loved this, then you'll love Carrie Soto is Back. One of my all-time favourite authors is Christina Lauren. They're actually a duo, Christina and Lauren. They look like this actually, and I give All their books, 5 stars. There has not been one that I haven't given a 5-star to, which I feel like that's very high praise. So I pulled out my favourite one, Love and Other Words. I actually got this in Barnes & Noble in the US. This is the US cover. Oh, this was just such an easy, nice, light-hearted read. They are childhood friends to lovers. It alternates timelines. They don't talk for a decade and then they are reunited, and it answers the question of what happened. But the chemistry in this is so beautiful. I just loved it. And I know it's been recommended a lot, but The Housemaid by Frida McFadden is a thriller. Now, I'm not much of a thriller person, but this was such a good read. I actually have the others in the series on my Kindle because I believe they're on Kindle Unlimited. But this is just one of those ones that you'll fly through. It's very gripping, lots of twists that I didn't see coming. Maybe because I'm not a massive thriller person, so I didn't predict anything, and I don't like anything scary, but this just had me right in there. So if you are in a book slump, I do think that this is a good one to pick up as well. We're diving into my Kindle next because I want to talk to you about some of the ones that I've loved so far this year. So let's start with The Wedding People. I gave this a 4.5. This is another good one for a summer read. Set in a hotel, there is a whole wedding happening. The main character arrives to take her own life and meets the bride who basically doesn't want her to do that. You get to see the growth and journey that the main character goes on, plus the relationship between the bride and groom and the families, lots of like family dynamics and drama. Very easy to read. This was one that I picked up during my week off and flew through it. Why is that hard to say? Flew through. Next, I read Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, as you know, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is my favourite. And this was actually my book club read. I just joined a book club recently and this was the first book I read as part of that, and we're going to be talking about it next week. I didn't think I'd enjoy it because when I read the blurb it was about space and astronauts. I just didn't think that anything NASA related would be my kind of thing, but I was wrong. Similarly to Carrie Soto's Back, it's heavily centred around tennis, but the way that Taylor Jenkins Reid is able to write love stories is just so good. This was so gripping. It had me sobbing at the end. It was just a really beautiful story set in 1980, set in the early 1980s, I was right, specifically during the early years of the NASA Space Shuttle program. It's got a big focus on women in those male-dominated spaces at that time, which I also really enjoyed. So I think this is one you should definitely pick up. Also, I don't know if you can see, but that's my pile of Christina Lauren books that I love. And actually, just looking at it, this is a really good summer read too. I should have recommended that, The Paradise Problem. This is kind of like Crazy Rich Asians. It's set on an island where the main character, West, his sister is getting married, I think from memory. He brings his fake wife. You just have to read it to trust me and enjoy it, but it was so good. I loved that one. This was one I actually read this year. I picked this up in Barnes & Noble again. Look at this lovely floppy book. You guys in America, you don't know how good you've got these books. They're so nice to read. And they're slightly bigger than ours, so they're just nice. But anyway, the word favourite is spelt American way, so, you know, but it is a beautiful cover. Look at that. It's a similar style to Love and Other Words. I gave this 5 stars. This has such a fun friendship dynamic and group, and the chemistry is off the scales. It's so good. I really enjoyed this. I think I read it in like 24 hours. You would fly through it. And some of the book actually looks like this in terms of like their texts and WhatsApp group. But it's just very, very easy. That was one that just made me so happy. And I do like it when I can read a book really quickly. Christina Lauren, The Unhoneymooners as well. That's another good one. In fact, you just can't go wrong with Christina Lauren. Just anything from them. All of these are great books. Actually, The Soulmate Equation and The True Love Experiment, they go together. That one first, then that one. Another author that I have fallen in love with their work is Abby Jimenez. She had 3 books that were standalone, so you could just read them in any order, but I actually did read them in the order that was sort of recommended because the characters or their worlds sort of cross over, so you get nods or mentions of the characters from the previous book. So in this order, Part of Your World, 5 stars. Yours Truly, I gave also 5 stars. And then Just for the Summer, another 5-star read. So 3 in a row that I gave 5 stars to. And I will say I did also read Say You'll Remember Me, which is the latest one out this summer. I only gave that 3 stars. So we lost our 5-street run, sadly, but those 3 first ones I absolutely loved. I love a dual POV where you get the male main character and then the female, and it is just so well done. Check these ones out if you're looking for something easy to read. And the last one I read on my holiday to Dubai back in March, this is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I read this in 48 hours. My review said it's the type of romance that fully ticked all the boxes for me. So funny, yet pulls at all your heartstrings. It's a story about leaning on your community and never taking life and time for granted. I even said that I want a physical copy to add to my favourites. That's how much I loved it. Like I mentioned, I did ask you guys for your recommendations. So this came from our wonderful book community, and I really do want to continue the conversation and feel like this video is perfect. So please leave your recommendations down below. If you have anything that's remotely similar to what I've recommended so far, or you've had some standouts or ones you think that everyone else will enjoy as much as you did. So do leave them down below, because people do love to read the comments and have us scroll through. The first series that came up was from Anna Hyung. I actually don't have the one you guys recommended, which is the Twisted series. This is the King of Sin, but I think it's this one on the back actually, The Twisted Love. I've got these on my Kindle, I believe, because I think they're on Unlimited. Lots of you said that they are brilliant, so I will pick up that at some point. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I think this could be a romantasy, seen a lot about this, but the one that came up a lot actually was Spark of the Everflame. My coach Laura suggested this, and I think, again, let me check. I do have it on my Kindle already, it's on Unlimited. I think this would be a really good one if you loved Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, which I've talked about a lot. This is by Penn Cole, also on my Kindle Coloursoft. The map is actually in colour. I love that. One of my favourite series ever is Lauren Asher, Dreamland Billionaires. Disney, but it's called Dreamland, and the different branches of the business ran by 3 different brothers, and it's their 3 different love stories. It's just chef's kiss. Fine Print, the first one, is set in the theme parks, basically like Disneyland. So good. I actually really want to reread this at some point. They're a bit spicy as well. But Lauren Asher has a few other series. Some of you recommended the Lakefront Billionaires series. So I believe Love Unwritten or Love Redesigned. One of those is first. It'll be on screen there, you can see. They are also on Kindle Unlimited if you have that. Another one that came up a lot was The Women by Kristen Hanna. I have that downloaded on my Kindle as well to read at some point. Historical fiction, I believe, which I have not done yet, but on my radar because it came up a lot. We had Lucy Score, Story of My Life, that came up. I've actually got another gorgeous sprayed edge one with the books. That might be one of my favourites, actually. I didn't love the Things We Never Got Over, this series. I have all 3 from this. Didn't love this one. It was fine. I don't know if I was in the right headspace at the time for it, but I am going to try this and see how I feel. But those ones, there we go, you can see all 3 there. I didn't actually end up doing the pink or the purple one, but this one did come up from recommended. And then lastly, on the recommended by you list, I wrote down a few authors that came up quite a few times. So Sarah Morgan, Sophie Kinsella, and Carly Fortune. She has a new book called One Golden Summer, but some of her other ones are apparently great. I need to work out what order they might need to be read in. Haven't done any yet, so let me know any Carly Fortune ones that you think I might enjoy, because I feel like looking at the covers, I'm going to enjoy them. I know we shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but you know I'm gonna. I've got so many on my own TBR as well. Lots from Ali Hazelwood. I've still got The Dead Romantics. I've got a few from Rebecca Yarros. I really want to try some of her other books that are not obviously Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. So I've got Variation and In the Likely Event. Both of these are on Kindle Unlimited as well. I was also kindly sent this by Rebecca Reed. It's 7 Rules for a Perfect Marriage. And the couple are content creators that share their life online. And honestly, it just felt like something I'd really like. It says, Jessica and Jack have it all. Their social media accounts show them glamorous, happy, and sickeningly in love. They even landed a book deal to share their 7 Rules for the Perfect Marriage, an instant bestseller, of course. But behind the scenes, it's not so simple. In a bid to reboot their relationship, they decide to go back to basics and follow their own rules, but they're about to learn that there is simply no such thing as perfect. I don't know, guys, is that not a bit of me? I feel like I would really enjoy that. So yeah, this was kindly sent to me, should be out now already. So that is definitely high on my list. Whilst I'm looking at my bookshelf, other authors I think could be worth you checking out is Beth O'Leary. Again, I have some that I've loved, some that I haven't so much. Lindsay Kelk, if you want funny, modern references that aren't cringe. Her books are really good. Tessa Bailey, if you want a bit of spice. I really liked It Happened One Summer. That was a good one. And I think I've mentioned her, but Ali Hazelwood I mentioned, but The Love Hypothesis. Loved that as well. A lot of you know that I've been loving F1 and watching the races, and we got to go to the British Grand Prix. And so I've also been reading some F1 inspired romances, none that I would recommend yet. I tried Lauren Asher's Throttled and Paige Toon Chasing Daisy. Didn't like either of them. Well, I gave them 3 stars. I just didn't think they were enough to say that you must read. However, loads of you recommended Cross the Line if you are looking for something. I haven't read this yet, but I was kindly gifted them. Ride With Me is the second one, which is out now as well. But these are meant to be brilliant, so this is also high on my list. I just needed a little break because I don't want to do back-to-back F1 romances, but this is definitely one that I want to get into. Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. I also just wanted to touch on audiobooks. I'm not much of an audiobook listener when it comes to novels, but I did just start Ali Hazelwood's A Problematic Summer, I think it's called. I mean, the cover looks so pretty, but I did a 2-hour drive the other day, started this. I'm trying to get into it. I'm just not sure if I would prefer to actually physically read it. It might be one that I read some and listen to some, or listen to it while I read. Let me know if any of you have done that. I also love the graphic audio for Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and I think Onyx Storm is out now as well. So if you did love them or you haven't read them, it's done in a way where there's music and sound effects, and oh my God, it's just so well done. I did try and listen to A Court of Thorn and Roses because I didn't get into the book the first time. I only read half of it. Tried the graphic audio, didn't like it. So I think if I'm gonna do A Court of Thorn and Roses, which so many of you beg me to, which I will. I mean, my husband Benji has read them. Like, seriously, I'm so behind. But yeah, I think I need to go back into A Court of Thorn and Roses, the physical book. But yeah, graphic audios, check them out. Autobiographies, if you have not listened to Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mum Died, it is so interesting, very heartfelt, very honest, looks into the behind the scenes of what it was like to be a child actor at Nickelodeon. So that was interesting to me. I just really enjoyed it. It was one of those books that you really remember, and because she's an actress herself and she reads it, no one better could tell her own story obviously than her. So that was good. And I also enjoyed Rebel Wilson's book, Rebel Rising, again read by her, and because she's a comedian and an actress, she just tells it so good. There is quite a lot of talk about weight and weight loss though, so definitely check the trigger warnings on that. But I really liked her talking about behind the scenes of being famous and the celebrity sort of lifestyle, going to Disneyland. There were loads of things in it that I just enjoyed. Recently, I've also been doing some self-help audiobooks, currently doing Atomic Habits, which I've actually read before. I've got the physical book down there, but I'm listening to that at the moment through the car. I know I've mentioned my Kindle a few times through this video. I'm currently reading The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I have had my Kindle Coloursoft for 10 months now. I got it when it first came out, and last week I actually got the opportunity to do an ad over on Instagram for Amazon Kindle, which was honestly like a dream job. If you haven't seen my reel already, I would absolutely love your support if you want to go and watch it. But it was a little summary of how and why I love the Kindle Coloursoft. But to me, seeing all my books in colour like this is an actual game changer. I just love all the different recommendations that come up in colour, because look, this is the best way to pick your next read. Oh, that one looks good. See what I mean? Like, that looks good. Megan Quinn, Till Summer Do Us Part. And it shows you what's on Kindle Unlimited. One thing I was going to say is that there is a brand new Kindle Coloursoft that's out. It is 16 gig instead of 32 gig. Waterproof. There are different coloured highlighters that you can do, and it's slightly cheaper than the original one was, so I will leave that down below. I've also been trying out this little one just to see how I feel. I was kindly gifted this. This is the Matcha Green, but this one is so small it fits in the palm of your hand. This one's obviously in black and white, and it is a really cute size. I bought a cover for it too. I actually throw my Coloursoft in my handbag just like that, and it is very, very sturdy. I did have a load of stickers in the back, but I need to redo them because they all fell to the bottom. This is just a clear case, and I get asked a lot. This has got a magnetic pop socket on it. I got this from Target, but I'll link similar in my Amazon storefront. So I'll have the link to Kindle and accessories all in one page. You can then see my clamp that I use on sun loungers by my bed, my Bluetooth clicker, which is a whole game changer when you establish a setup with you reading on a sun lounger in this capacity. Also the squishy like cushion thing that I have in bed too. Some of you do ask me about this, but you basically stick this on the case so it's not on the actual Kindle, so it's not damaging it, and then the magnetic pop socket goes on like that. Now I've had them both for a little comparison. I still really love my Kindle Coloursoft. I like the size of this being just that bit bigger. Feels like the size of a book, whereas this is quite small. It's kind of between my iPhone and a book, so it is just that size smaller, but it is really good if I'm only taking like a very small crossbody bag. I just thought I'd show it to you in case you were interested in getting a Kindle. Like I said, links will be below. There's also a Kindle Coloursoft for kids as well now if your kids read picture books and comics and they want their books in colour. I think that'd be a really lovely way to get them into reading more. I think that is everything I wanted to cover when it comes to books. So many recommendations. All I want to do now is cozy up on the sofa, snuggle up in my little reading nook here and get into a world of stories. So do let me know down below if this has been helpful, anything you've read that I've recommended that you've really loved, or anything I've missed off or haven't read myself yet. Please do keep the conversation going. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future book videos like this. Maybe we can do a wrap up at the end of the year, and check out my Brogan's Books Instagram account where I have all my reviews and other things. As I mentioned, I did recently join a book club, which is giving me some ideas and inspiration for the future. So if you would love to see a book club in some capacity, let me know. I feel like Brogan's Book Club has a nice ring to it, but we will see. Anyway, have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next ones. Bye.